Hi, good day. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Pearl. I hope to be as regular as possible, but as you know, as a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, you have a lot of files to be handling and we have a lot of applications we've been submitted. So I just took some time to, share some good news and to find out how ready are you for July. This is pretty exciting because this is one of the most popular immigration programs that people use to come to Canada, and I'm talking about the Federal Skilled Worker. Okay, so as you know, there's something called the Express Entry, and under it there are three main programs, which are the Canadian Experience Class, the Federal Skilled Worker, and the Federal Skilled Trades. Well, the provincial nominee programs also occur in it. Some provincial nominee programs require that you go through the Express Entry, have a profile, active profile for you to be able to express your interest in the immigration program. And there are some that you can just apply directly. But today we'll be focusing more on the Canadian Experience Class and the Federal Skilled Worker. Why are we focusing on this? Because for the last few months and year, there has been a pause on it. So as you know, let's rewind. As you know, the pandemic happened by March 2020, the world pretty much shut down for a couple of months. What happened? This caused a slowdown of immigration processing and actually a huge increase in the backlog of applications that are being processed. What does that mean? It means that because there was a slowdown, people still kept applying to Canada. That didn't stop. But the rate at which they were processing these applications, it reduced because people were working from homes, people were having COVID, dealing with all sorts of issues, on the personal level. And people were having to go back to their home countries because, like I said, the world shut down. Now, in December, and we'll go through the screen, you'd see. So December 23rd, 2020, and I'll show that on the screen somewhere on the screen. December 23rd, 2020 was the last time that there was a draw in which all programs under the Express Entry benefited. So if you were in the pool in December 23rd and your score was, the lowest score that was invited was 468. So if your score was around 468, you would have received an ITA. An ITA is an invitation to apply. You would have received it. And once you receive that, that means that it's time for you to apply for your PR. That means you've met the requirements and you're being invited by by RCC to put in an application for a permanent residence. And so those people were the last batch of people to enjoy Federal Skilled Worker Program. Now, fast forward to September, I think it was September 14th. Yeah, September 14th. That was the last Canadian Experience Class. So with regard to the Canadian Experience Class, September 14th, and I'll show this also somewhere on the screen, September 14th was the last Canadian Experience Express Entry draw that occurred. And there were 2,000 people who were invited and 462 was the score. That was the lowest score. Now, I'll just like to backtrack a bit to February. It was February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day 2021, which we can't stop talking about. That was the month that they had a Canadian Experience Class draw that invited 27,332 people. That is 27,332 candidates who were in the pool. They benefited from that draw. Why? I'll tell you, because you'll be wondering, why 27,000? That was because the cutoff score on that particular day was 75. Imagine if you were in the pool. Now you may be wondering, who qualifies for Canadian Experience Class? Simple. Canadian Experience Class, the people who qualify for it are the people who are in Canada. And not just people who are in Canada, but basically people who have worked in Canada for 1 year or 2 years. If you came into Canada as a worker, you have to have worked for at least 1 or 2 years. If you came in as a student, you have to have worked for at least 1 year after graduation. 1 year after, not 1 year while you're schooling. No, because it's expected that if you're here on a student visa, you are a full-time student studying. Yes, you can work while studying. I believe it's about 20 hours per week when school is in session, and full-time on holidays. But we're talking about Canadian experience class who can qualify. After graduation, you'll be able to apply for your postgraduate work permit. During that period of your postgraduate work permit, if you can work for 1 full year in a OAB role, you will qualify for Canadian experience class. So anyone who was in the pool and meets the requirements, they got it. And you can imagine 75 was the score. That means people who had very bad IELTs must have, not very bad, obviously, because before you can even get into before you can qualify to for the, you have to have a minimum score. For you to qualify to be in the pool, you have to have had a minimum score. So let me not raise your hopes so high. I don't know when next they would ever have a draw this large, but this is why we try to encourage our clients to get into the pool, especially when you have the basic documents like your English test, your credential evaluation, and whatnot. So that was the last express entry draw that they had. That was September 14, 2021. And ever since then till date, and when I say till date, I mean as at today being May 24th, they've just been having provincial nominee programs. So people who are in the pool and have received provincial nomination certificates. They've received nominations from the different provinces that maybe they indicated interest, or the province indicated interest in them. Those are the people who have been benefiting from the express entry draws. So as at May 11, I believe that was the last express entry draw, there were 545 invitations issued, and the lowest score was 753. Let's do the maths. If the score was 753 and a person who gets a provincial nomination, they get 600 points. Having a provincial nomination gives you 600 points. So if you do not currently have a great score without it, then that's the next thing you want to consider. Now, I have 2 other things to talk about, and that would be what to do when you're in the pool and how to improve your scores. So what to do when you're in the pool? Take a look at your English test results. Without it, you can't even get into the pool. So take a look at it and be sure it's still valid. Most of them are actually just valid for 2 years. So be sure it's still valid. Otherwise, go and write a new one ASAP. Another thing to do is get your police reports, your police certificates. If you're from Nigeria, it doesn't take too long to get one. And it's usually valid for 3 months. But I recommend getting that next month, since, what we're targeting is July. What else? Make sure once you get into the pool, you get a job seeker code, create your job bank profile, and try for a job match there. Now, the question of how to improve your scores. I think it was early last year or so, they introduced this additional 50 points. So IRCC introduced this additional point thing whereby they give 50 points for strong French language skills. So what we recommend is take French classes. Okay, take French classes, write the French exam, and you can actually earn yourself 50 additional points. What else? Have you gotten your credentials evaluated? Make sure you have. And I need to explain that if you studied law or a professional program in Nigeria, when you get it evaluated, most times it gets evaluated as a second degree or diploma, or it gets evaluated that way. So be sure you have your documents properly evaluated. Okay, so you can have that advantage, because that means a higher score for you. Now, how to improve your score. Depending on what your English test is at the moment, I strongly will recommend aiming for the highest possible scores. So if you write the English test and you're not happy with the score, or by the time you plug it into the CRS calculator, it's not giving you the scores, it's not giving what it's supposed to be giving. How to increase your scores. First of all, I recommend taking another English test because you want to score the maximum. That will give you more points. I would also recommend improving your education. If you want to get a diploma or another degree, a master's or a PhD, that can increase your points. I would also recommend getting more years of work experience, but another good thing you could do is if you apply for jobs and you get a job offer, you could get like 50 points or 200 depending on the level of the skill level. You can get up to 200 points. So you can also get nominated by a province. So in conclusion, my question to you is, are you going to get into the pool? Have you already taken your English test? Have you gotten your credentials evaluated? If you studied in Canada, you don't need that. But if you have foreign education, I strongly recommend you get it evaluated as soon as possible, because sometimes it takes a very long time, especially if you're from a country where schools are currently on strike. I'm not too sure how you can get that, but if you have contacts at the school that can help you, that would be a great one. But I encourage you, get your English test out of the way. Try to score the highest possible score that you can. And if you don't like what you get, take it again. There's nowhere that says it's illegal to take, multiple English tests. There's a particular score you're aiming for, and it's good that you work towards achieving it. Go online, watch practice videos, watch tutorials, attend a tutorial school or tutorial class. We recently became part of the CELPIP partner network, so we can assist with registering you for CELPIP. CELPIP is now in Nigeria, and we can assist with providing that information. So send us an email, send us a DM on Instagram. We're happy to assist.